live. We're live on YouTube, starting on Rumble. And start us off, Alice.
Welcome to the Cracking Peanut.
Cracking Peanut, awesome.
Do you like that one?
Yeah, that was nice.
Welcome to Kicking the Peanut, Cracking the Corn.
Yeah.
I thought you'd like that. Where we talk about everything and everything on this day, on Christmas Eve.
Merry Christmas Eve, everyone!
Right?
Yeah.
No, I'm the lovely Alice of who had an accidental crisis here prior to the show because of a grocery store closing early. Yeah. But that's okay. Things work out.
It's never too late for a little Christmas panic. Am I right? You know?
Yep. Yeah.
Oh.
It's never too late. But I am the Alice of who. I'm joined by my lovely partner in crime here. Who are you?
I'm Xander.
The hand gestured there, dude.
Well, you called me lovely, so I had to look gorgeous.
Fabulous.
Fabulous.
You're fabulous. It's okay. You're still fabulous.
Recognized as a hate crime. I don't know anymore these days.
What, for saying you're fabulous? No. How can that be a hate crime? No, that's not a hate crime. That's just being fabulous.
Hey, there you are, Alice. Hey.
I know. I give you love. Christmas cheer, the lack of honor.
She's as cute as a button. Don't you want to just like poke that nose, like poke, poke, poke? You know?
Push my cheeks.
Squish.
Oh, dude, I still have my headphones on my neck, and I'm not even using them.
Huh.
Yeah. Oh, dude, check this out. So early this week, I got a 308 round
necklace. I was
necklace.
asking about that. Is that a bullet necklace?
Yeah, it's a 308 round.
Now that's just a straight up, just a round. You know, nothing special about it, like other than the fact that
just
it's a
round
bullet necklace.
The gunpowder and everything has been removed from it. Otherwise, I mean, if you drilled into it, you'd probably go off. And then someone's going to feel sorry.
Because I have on my key ring here, Alice. I have a bullet bottle opener.
Oh, nice. Yeah. See, I got this at the store at the Berkshire Mall in Minnesota, in Pennsylvania, and Wyoming. It's a cool store. It's like a metalhead store. I asked the guy though, because like they're playing nothing. They're at the time when we walked in, he had like Pantera playing on the radio, and I'm like, oh, that's a wicked. And so, but it was like I can't. Why am I up in a? It's a Cowboys from Hell album. I think it's the Cowboys from Hell album he was playing.
Yeah.
But it was cool. I got that. I got some opium scented incense from there as well. And then I went to the store called Habitat, and I got a really cool like bohemian emerald green top and a purple skirt.
Yo, I saw there's a house with purple lights around the garage. I took a picture of it. But before we continue on with all the topics and everything, I have a question for you. Do you know where this came from?
No.
I bought this from the Alex Jones website. He has actually several different calibers. Like, yeah.
I have a shark in the shape of a bottle opener that's from New Zealand. Hey, Papa Dukes, I saw you come in.
How you doing, Alice?
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Yeah, check out my 308 round I got this week.
It's a necklace. She was wearing it. She has a bullet necklace.
Yeah.
That's Christmassy.
Yeah.
I've actually had a friend back home in Minnesota. He actually made me a custom keychain with a 308 round as well.
Oh, okay.
And then he also made me a keychain with a 735 or 765, I can't remember. 765 round.
Well, see, I want to make a comment on what you said. You know, that's Christmassy. And, you know, like, when you think about it, it's all a matter of perception, you know, perspective and everything. But when you think about a bullet, it is Christmassy because then it can help you celebrate Christmas with, you know, your, past loved ones.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, I also have the shell casing. From my grandfather's funeral. He passed away last year.
Yeah. But anyway, Alice, like, how was your past week?
Well, I had a 2 days off with no hitch.
Nice.
Wow.
And I'm on a day off again today and tomorrow, obviously.
Double nice.
I harassed a few of my coworkers and we had some funny talks there, where I shared the Drink Prime videos from Meat Canyon.
Yeah. Drink Prime, drink Prime, drink Prime.
Yeah, but I sometimes
got her nickname here, Nipple Raft.
Yeah, well, yeah. And I sent that to some higher ups in the company too, just because it's funny because we all like complain about Prime.
See, you always said that I was a crazy, worker. She does and says things to her superiors that I would never dream of. You know,
I do.
Oh
I do
my
have a thing
heavens.
good love.
Oh my
I do. I do
God,
have a thing
Alice.
good love. It's within a good heart and good love that I do it in. Like I take the feelers off. Like if I put my feelers out, if I feel like they're good, they're cool to do it too, I will. If I don't feel comfortable with it, I won't.
Yeah.
So
Well,
yeah.
I gotta tell you, I get no respect from my people. Now, keep in mind, we have a skeleton crew, so everything counts and everything has to be out the door for Christmas, right?
Yeah.
So my guy's talking to the girl. I go, hey, what are you doing? We got to get all this stuff out the door. He looks at me and goes, we're having a meeting. God.
Well,
Wow.
Yeah, having a meeting. You're over there BSing.
wow.
Anyways,
Yeah.
you had to be there.
Yeah.
At the moment.
Yeah, you have to be there to understand it. But like I get what you're throwing out there, buddy.
But see, what's really
There's some
cool
people
about today's episode is we don't really need to talk much about our past week because, everybody's been doing Christmas stuff. It's kind of universal, like the madness, So, like,
Yeah.
well, although Dad and I did last night, we went and walked around our local lake and they decorate all the houses like the Griswolds from, and I have all those pictures I still got to show through you.
Yeah, you put them in photos on Discord, and I haven't looked at them yet. I was waiting to.
Is I want to go over picture by picture and talk about them with you at some point. So
Yeah, I figured we could do that like in the free time tomorrow for Christmas cheer of
Yeah, we'll
things.
do it
That'd
for
be actually
Christmas.
kind of. Yeah, we'll do it for tomorrow.
I'm also thinking about making like a little video or something, but we'll see. But yeah.
There you go.
But anyway, so like the first order of business, your boy toy, Magnetic, was talking about cryptids in one of his, marijuana-induced, spectacles.
Bigfoot.
Yeah, well, he's talking about, Bigfoot and all that stuff. Well, I was just thinking, like, do you want to talk about cryptids for a little bit, to start us off? Yeah.
That would be really awesome, actually. Let's see. Like, he just actually woke up. Let's see if he has anything to talk about it. I think he's in the bathroom, doing the dookie.
Yikes.
What's the term you're saying?
Cryptids.
Hey, that was kitty language right there.
They're like Nessie, like Bigfoot. They're cryptids. They're or like there's the industry around it is called cryptozoology. Okay. You know what zoology is? Studying of animals. Cryptozoology is the study of cryptids. Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
so,
things that have not been yet confirmed by. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
like,
here's
you have the
crazy.
Kraken, the Jersey Devil, the Mothman, Bigfoot, Nessie.
Yep. The big giant turtle in Florida.
Yeah.
There's a big giant turtle in Florida apparently too. Dude,
about that.
you know how I like to sometimes when I can't go to sleep, I like to go to sleep to the sound of thunderstorms, but with ghost stories right on top of them. I had heard this crazy cryptoid story. Where it was like this kid, he lived on the second floor, it was like attic floor, build a house, old school farmhouse. And he had this kid had a sleepover, but this is told by the story who went over for the sleepover. And he never saw the kid ever again after that, and the kid stopped going to school there. But what happened is they decided he became really good friends with him in school, and he got to go have a slumber party with this friend of his, and he said, we have to be asleep by midnight. And he's like, what? He thought that was kind of weird, and I think they're middle schoolers or something like that. So being up till midnight back then, at that age, you're like, ooh,
Oh, I'm breaking the rules.
Yeah, but what they ended up doing is they decided to actually pitch a tent in the yard and just camp outside because it was nice weather and everything. And he said, at midnight, we have to be asleep. You cannot leave the tent, you have to sleep. Or just keep your eyes closed. And kid's like, why? The kid wouldn't answer. So he follows suit with it, and then after an hour or two, he has to go pee. And so he quietly gets out of the tent and goes out and pees at the edge of the forest right there. But when he turns back around and starts walking back towards the tent, he can see up towards the room of his friend's bedroom. It looks like there's a ladder right there. I think I've told you this before.
I don't
It looks like
recall
there's a ladder. Okay, so it looks like this really tall ladder that can go up like 20, 30 feet in the air, okay? And then all of a sudden, like, he's like, oh, I never noticed that there was a ladder there before. So he starts walking back, and there's a little jostle, like, on the other side of the house from where he was, and all of a sudden that ladder-looking thing turned its head out and looked the other direction for the sound. And he saw that, and he gasped, like... He didn't scream, but he was like, the thing moved. And then all of a sudden kind of like moved its arm outward, and it like was tall and thin like a ladder, but had like this like cone-shaped head with no face.
I think I know exactly what you're talking about. That's more of a creepypasta. Siren head is what I think you're talking about.
It's not quite, no, it's more cone-shaped. It's not like a siren outward. It's not a siren head.
Okay.
But it's more like think of it like a bird's beak going downward.
Okay. So
you know, like but more.
Where did this go?
Yeah.
So it's like Pyramid Head from like the Silent Hill.
Not quite,
like, really
not quite, but kind of on that shape of the head, but had no face. And anyway, so the kid goes like he quietly scrambles into the tent, but like when he did that. He made a noise, and the cryptoid thing noticed it. And so he quickly zipped the tent shut, and he's trying to whisper to his friend. He goes, keep your eyes closed, no matter what. Keep your eyes closed. And he's like, okay. And he said he lay there for what seemed for hours, again, with his eyes closed. But when he opened them up just once to see if the thing was gone, this faceless creature was staring at his face, and it was like 4 inches from his face.
Oh my god!
Yeah, and it didn't have a face or anything. He's like, it had no facial features, but the moment my eyes opened, all of a sudden a black gaping hole started to widen up like it was going to eat him. And then all of a sudden there were some coyotes in the forest right behind them, and the cryptoid heard it. And he turned his head and looked like that direction and stood up, but his head was still in the tent. And both kids were still in the tent, and it was like trying to get the tent off its head. And flung the two boys out of the tent. The one kid broke his wrist from the falling out, from coming out of it, from it getting out. If it wasn't for the sound of the coyotes, he's like, I don't think I'd be alive today telling the story. But that was a cool creepypasta, like, cryptoid story I listened to on this.
Well, that's the thing, with creepypastas, those are made up things. Like, cryptids are possibly
kind of like
actually
Slender Man, yeah.
So,
yeah, like Slender Man and stuff, but like, Bigfoot, there's
had some possible things, so.
Well, also, like, with Bigfoot, apparently, I just saw this not long ago, but it was on a short on YouTube when I was bored at work. There was, there's like one of those like hunter cameras like strapped to a tree.
Oh yeah, and or something.
Yeah, like a forest camera, but it only like activates when there's movement. But like what happened was, it was this tall furry thing that almost looked like a man with a big giant beard and fur outfit. However, he was breaking down 30-foot tall dead trees with one hand and like tossing them.
Yeah, I've heard about like creatures like that being Bigfoot or some other type of cryptid. Because there's videos and there's photos and such. Like there's this one video where like
Yeti and stuff.
Well, there's this one video I've seen where this guy's just like filming like the top canopy of trees, from on the mountain or something. Yeah. And all of a sudden this one tree just went up and it just started walking. But it wasn't the tree that was moving. Something ripped the tree out of the ground and then just started walking with it like a baton. Like,
what was it, like Mr. Impossible? Also, that YouTuber Mr. Impossible.
Is it Mr. Obvious or that is
no Mr. Impossible.
I'm never okay. Let's look this guy up, Mr. Impossible.
Yeah, he actually has a video of what looks like a giant on a hilltop or a mountaintop.
That is impossible. That is impossible.
Yeah.
Right? Okay.
Yeah.
I'm subscribed to him. Yeah, and I've seen that video of what you're talking about. Like,
the big giant walking on the top of a mountain, like miles away, and he disappears.
Yeah.
Down the hill.
Are you talking about the top of the mountain, or are you talking about the other sighting from across the valley, or whatever?
There's a couple of them that he's posted, so I could probably be one of two.
Yeah.
But it's absolutely insane.
Yeah. But like
I've
already put into the underbar section like a list of like the list of cryptids, and there's a lot of cryptids. Like there's obviously as I mentioned earlier, Nessie, the Mothman, the Jersey Devil, the Grafton Monster, Bigfoot,
Chupacabra,
the Yeti, Sasquatch, Chupacabra, yeah, Chupacabra. That turtle you're talking about in Florida, I've heard about that too.
Yeah, big giant turtle in a swampy pond thing.
Oh yeah. Dover Demon. There's a lot of them. Like
there's a whole bunch of cryptoids. But we all know that Magnetic's favorite one is Bigfoot.
Yeah, right here. I literally scrolled over it as you said it. That was not intentional, but that was great.
Bigfoot.
So,
he wants Bigfoot blunts.
Yeah. Oh, of course, a gray alien. But that's more UFOlogy and whatnot. So.
Yeah. But still, some people would say that it's still like a cryptoid thing. It's also what Black-Eyed Kids. I don't know if those are really cryptoids, but they're still part of that whole lore.
There's also the Thunderbird. I spoke about that the other day. The Native American, legend of the Thunderbird.
Yeah.
So.
Well, werewolves, vampires, you have those.
So, do you have anything, Loon, to say about
flying
this?
people?
I know it's brand new to you.
It is. I'm just listening to you guys and all this stuff.
Oh yeah. So.
What a whole bunch.
Damn thing, except for Bigfoot,
yeah.
big ones like that.
Yeah.
Yeti
is one of the most. Yeah. So.
You know what we should do sometime? We should watch Harry and the Hendersons.
Harry and the Hendersons.
It's about Bigfoot.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, as John Lithgow from Third Rock from the Sun.
That's right.
Yeah, where the Bigfoot's actually a nice friendly beast, and he really likes McDonald's cheeseburgers.
Huh. Well, I'm gonna add that into the movies channel. There it is. Okay, movie night.
Yeah.
So let me add that in there.
For those of you who have not seen it, Harry and the Hendersons is a classic.
Yeah.
It's a really good, funny movie.
Myself, so.
Oh my god, it's freaking great. The Bigfoot, he would make these little egg-shaped, cartoonish indentions on the floor in the kitchen when he was stuck in the basement, and the guy's like, "Oh, we have some plumbing problems." Or something like that. I can't remember what he says.
Now, Alice, you discovered this. I want to move on up to the next topic here.
Yeah.
We spoke about this yesterday during ThEoD, but this is remarkable, and I'm going to play this again because Loon hasn't seen this. So I'm going to.
Oh yeah, the horn.
Free energy. This guy
the
Maxwell Chikumbutsu from
Here, let me get back
Zimbabwe,
in that so I can see it too again.
Okay, hold on. Let me just reload the page then. So. I want to pause. Damn it. There we go. Now it's paused. Okay. Tell me when you're back in, Alice.
I'm here.
Okay.
I'm in it.
Maxwell Chikumbutsu from Zimbabwe. He created a generator that does not use any power source. So this generator creates free energy using frequencies from the atmosphere. This one generator can power 300 homes. These two scientist guys went out there to test it and they're like, yeah, it's legit. And they're like, how did you know how to build this? And he says when he sleeps, he gets revelations from God of how to create these things. He says, this is how he told me to make it. But this dude has a target on his back. So he's been in prison in Zimbabwe multiple times.
You're too smart.
He came to the US at one point and he was poisoned and almost died, and he cannot get any of his patents patented because if it defies physics, it cannot be patented.
Imagine if everything goes black in the world and that's the only type of energy source that we can holster.
Yeah, that's also a thing that AI couldn't affect.
Definitely not.
Free energy.
Yeah. It's crazy too. But it's like the whole thing that Tesla was saying, you can just take energy from the air, from the atmosphere, just everything around you.
If you figure out how to tap into the harmonic frequency of the Earth, then there you
can
go.
produce
That's what
energy.
Tesla was doing. And very much like Tesla, this kid was saying he was having premonitions from God. Well, Tesla was saying he was getting messages from aliens. And then there's also maybe the Black Knight satellite, was in correspondence with that. I think he actually because it was known back then, the Black Knight satellite, well before we were in space.
Yeah, and we have talked and discussed about the Black Knight not too long ago. Was that the Edge of Disclosure last week that we talked about?
Probably. Not yesterday. We did 3 weeks ago or something.
Yeah, it was 2 or 3 weeks ago we talked about the Dark Knight.
Yeah, Black Knight satellite.
Yeah, Dark Knight, Black Knight.
Well, it's not
That's
Batman.
That's what
Darkness.
Tesla.
Darkness is
Yeah.
coming.
Well, what did Tesla was
free energy. We can't have that.
well, no, well, that's when like Edison and Westinghouse came in and buried him. You know.
Well, that was later.
Yeah.
No, that's why they.
Papa Dukes, what you should do, actually, Xander, maybe not tonight, but next time you have a chance, have him watch Drunken History of Tesla. And it basically puts it all in, like, layman's terms of what happened with Westinghouse and Edison and all that.
Let me look it up right now so I won't forget it. So,
Yeah, but Papa Duke, you should watch that. Just a really quick brief history, and actually the person that plays Tesla is John C. Reilly from, like, the movie Step Brothers with Will Ferrell. So
Drunken History.
he was also in he's also been in a few he was in Gangs of New York, I know. He was one of the police officers. One of the Irish cops that was like kind of going against the Irishmen or whatever. Who had once been like one of Leonardo DiCaprio's dad's buddies, but now he was a cop that was kind of against him.
I'm not finding Tesla on YouTube on Drunk History.
Really? Did they get rid of it?
I don't know. I know it exists. I saw it with you. I know it was around.
Is that the right name though?
Well, I'm just looking up Drunk History.
No, there's
the show is called Drunk History, and they were talking about, they get drunk and they talk about history. And this episode, they were talking about Nikola Tesla.
Xander, it's the top one right there. Crispin Glover and John C. Reilly. That's the one right there. Yeah, but it's still Drunken History. That's where it originally came from.
Okay.
Drunk History came from Funny or Die before it went over to TV.
I did not know that.
But yeah, that's the right one.
Alright, so I have that up right there.
Yep.
I'm just getting rid of.
Yeah, that's the right one.
I'd like to see that.
Yeah. So let's see here. So the free energy. Yeah, like that's been pretty crazy stuff. But what is this? Alice, this is something else you found. The Celtic war horns. So let me.
Yeah, the Celtic war horns. These things are wicked awesome. Not to mention, I gave him a new idea of like how a way to scare a tribe back then is if they had like a way to like circular breathe and had like tubes going up their nose to get water, like air from above the surface. They could come marching up with those, and it looks like serpents with these gigantic horns.
Now, I want to reiterate and be clear, that's not what they did. Alice just invented that with her mind today. So,
yeah, that was just a thing that I thought would be cool if they had done it, but they didn't.
But to lay it down like that is not what they did.
No.
They didn't use it.
This is really cool though. Yeah, Papa Dukes, you're gonna love this.
So
you're gonna be.
Let me play this real quick.
This is the most terrifying musical instrument in history. When you hear the sound, you'll know why. The trumpet-like instrument was used by the Celts in 300 BC and is suspended vertically with a bell in the shape of a boar's head made of bronze. Its sound was one of the great mysteries of antiquity. The only description that existed was that of the historian Diodorus Siculus, who wrote around the 2nd century BC. Their trumpets were of a peculiarly barbaric kind. When they blow into it, it makes a harsh sound reminiscent of the turmoil of war. However, thanks to the work of archaeologists, it was possible in the year 1933 to reconstruct the carnix and revive the roar which incited the Celts to battle and intimidated the enemy. Here is how it sounds.
Yeah, it's absolutely phenomenal.
With that said, I have the actual video of that thing, and this is like a minute some long now. Like I'm gonna play this now. Let me set the stage. Imagine, you're back in the days of swords and boards. Like
the Bronze Age.
Yeah, there's thousands and thousands, 10,000, 20, whatever the battle is. Okay, the Celts come over the hill. Okay, and they have 100 of these, and I'm gonna pause this music here so we can hear this uninterrupted. So let me pull this up and unmute myself, and I'll play this. Imagine 100 of these. Oh my God.
Like I said, it's kind of like a didgeridoo. Gives me goosebumps hearing it. Like the sound of the sirens in a way. The sounds of war.
So yeah, like
psychological warfare. Are you kidding me?
Oh man, dude, that is horrible.
Yeah.
You know, like that sounds exactly, you know, like the ambient music when you go into like, you know, like nightmare areas in games or whatever. Like, you know, that is orchestral horrorness. You know.
What it reminds me of, you remember the movie, like when you watched the movie Silent Hill and the sirens went off? Like all of a sudden, like that tone and the way they did it in the movie with the surround sound around you, hearing that, you're like, oh shit. And then like you hear like that power up, it was boom. You're like, oh fuck.
Have you heard the broken tornado siren? Have you heard the broken tornado siren?
I don't think so.
No, but like maybe I have. Let's hear it.
Well, let me play this real quick.
Oh wow, where was this taken?
Like Chicago or something? I don't know.
During a foggy day from the lake.
Like, you know, like you're just chilling there and all of a sudden this starts. Like, what the hell?
What is happening?
What's going on? Like that would
yeah,
be,
dude, like there's some crazy shit. Like remember, like I told you, like I remember like the first time I heard the air raid siren. It was like, what the hell? Oh, hey cat. Hey Mag. Somebody wants to see you. He's having issues with his mouse. For his computer.
But like, I want to move on up to the next topic. And speaking of it, instilling fear in the enemies, I'm gonna play. You know, it reminded me of a quote from Tankman. If you've ever seen that, I'm just gonna play this really quick.
Yeah.
Taking your dick off instills fear in the enemy.
This is part of the YouTube thing, though.
Yeah. Well, no, this was just part of Tankman. So, but like, you know, as I said, you know, we're talking about instilling fear in the enemy. You know, with like with you know those Celtic trumpets and everything.
Your dia, yeah.
But like, I want to move up to, you know, this next thing, entrance of the gladiators. This was it was by the Czech composer Julius Fučík. He originally titled it the Grand Marche Chromatique, reflecting the use of chromatic scales throughout the piece, but changed the title based on his personal interest in the Roman Empire. So, you know, this was, you know how, like, you know, back in the day, you know, they had marching music, they had stuff to instill fear in the enemies and whatnot. And so, like, you know, like, I have this whole Wikipedia and everything, but I basically gave you the gist. It's a musical piece that was designed for march, designed to be like, oh crap, here they come, you know?
Was this actually used?
Well, it still is used today, but for a completely different reason.
Which is?
Well, let me play. Let me play it. No, you'll recognize it immediately.
Yeah. I'm sorry. You can't take that seriously now. I'm sorry.
I know, right?
I feel like I'm in a circus right now.
But that tune was legitimately created to instill fear in a populace. Here come the clowns! Watch out! Oh God! Oh, here they come!
Oh my God, dude, it's horrible how like something was supposed to instill fear is now used in circuses.
Entrance of the
I'm sorry. You learn something new every day. I didn't know that.
I know. I've been holding on to that little nugget of information for quite some time.
Oh my God. You've just been waiting for it to introduce the kick in the peanut.
Oh yeah.
And cracking the
Well, I mean, like, we're talking about instilling fear in the enemy with music, and here we go. You know, we go from trumpet to circuses now.
Yeah.
So.
Dude, that was a Freudian slip too. They call it cracking the peanut today.
Cracking the peanut. That was great though. You know.
I know it was well played on my part.
Yeah.
It was accidental, but it was funny at the same time and philosophical.
Yeah.
Waiting for my boyfriend to go, yeah, I like food.
Yeah.
Hey.
I know.
Mag,
Right?
do you like food?
I like food.
Mag, do you like food?
I like food.
He's not answering me. God, every time I see the Crispin Glover thing with the spark plugs, with the spark plugs. I'm sorry, with the jumper cables. I'm sorry. They're jumper cables, not spark plugs. Spark plugs are in engines.
Well, anyway, going from one subject to another, and this was an article from earlier this week on the this date in history. Yeah, so we have here. I have a question. Was Eisenhower the best president of all time? Question mark. Now, as usual with everything else, it's up to speculation. But the article that got me intrigued about this, because when I was talking about this and I looked into it, it's really mind-blowing. So I'm about to go on another one of my classic rants, so just, let me cook for a second. Right here it says 1958.
Let's go cooking.
1958 as of the 19th, so December 19th, 1958, the first radio broadcast from space. Okay? So the first time a broadcast was started from the planets, went up to a satellite, and got retransmitted back to the Earth. So the first time we did that, okay, was...
Well, go ahead.
What were you saying?
It couldn't happen in 1958. We didn't have satellites up there. We had Sputnik and whatnot was launched, but...
Well, this is radio broadcast from space.
Dude, yeah, well, Sputnik was launched in the 50s, and then we, shortly after launched a satellite. So, yeah, it is probable.
But they didn't go into space. They entered space and came back down. We didn't get them up and rotate. Yeah, we had the thing. Oh, God!
If you heard that, I did not.
Go ahead.
I did not hurt my boyfriend.
Okay, it says here, U.S. President Dwight D. Eisenhower's Christmas message quotes. Oh, hold on a second. I clicked the wrong thing. Here we go. Quotes. To all mankind, America's wish for peace on earth and goodwill to men everywhere. Now, I have the actual audio. This is from a museum here. So let me bigger this here. So what were you saying?
We had orbital...
Yeah, well, don't push the button. Don't push the red button, dude.
This is not the communist button.
Okay, go ahead.
But
don't the communist button, dude.
I want to reiterate. This is the very first... transmission from space that we made. Not alien or whatever. This is the first thing that obviously came from Earth, went up to space, and came back down. Now listen and
transmitted through space.
But also listen to what he says.
This is the President of the United States speaking. Through the marvels of scientific advance, my voice is coming to you from a satellite circling in outer space. My message is a simple one. Through this unique means, I convey to you and to all mankind America's wish for peace on earth and goodwill toward men everywhere.
Now, that's why I ask, was Eisenhower the best president of all time, question mark? Because, think about it. That's the first transmission from space. And the message, he says, that is peak humanity.
Yeah. And if you want to put another caveat on there, look at his speech leaving office, too. About the military complex.
Yeah, the military-industrial complex and the dangers of spending, especially deficit spending. But that's what I'm saying. He was in the thing. He was in the thick of things. He was the Supreme Allied Commander of European forces during World War II.
That's as a general, not as a president.
No, as a general, he was one of the very few 5-star generals ever. Okay, and then he later on became president, and then so that's what I'm saying. Dwight D. Eisenhower may be the best president of all time as far as what he did with what he had and what he knew.
Simultaneously, and I don't know my history well enough, was he president after World War II when we didn't help the regime fight off the communist invasion with Mao Zedong?
That was before World War II.
Well, I would definitely say that Eisenhower's definitely an underrated president.
So, time out a second. Are you saying that Mao Zedong, took over China after World War II?
Yeah.
No. Like, hold on a second. When did Mao Zedong? When
they marched the 100-mile march and all that stuff? That had to be after World War II.
Oh, that he led the country from its establishment in 1949 until his death in 1976. But no, China,
No, that's when they went over to Taiwan and established that as China. We recognize that as China. It was all after World War II.
Okay, I think you're right, actually. But no, 1926.
Hey.
I don't know if
it started in 1926. Is what I'm saying. Like, it wasn't like he came to power after World War II, yes, but he fought a war for 20 years beforehand, with China.
Yeah, but it really took off, and he asked for our help. And I forgot his name. I'm sorry to say
Chiang Kai-shek?
Yeah, he asked for our help. He pleaded for our help after World War II to come in and save the country because he was going to lose it.
Okay.
Now, I don't think he was president then, though.
When was Eisenhower president? 53 to 61.
Okay, so he was not president. So
No, it was right before Kennedy. Yeah, he was the president before Kennedy.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Nixon.
So,
was
yeah.
president.
Yeah. So, so here we go. Are you ready for a classic stoner AO rant? Like, I think I went off on this.
Why are you not doing a classic AO Xander rant?
I mean, you got a point there, and I know we
I'm
covered
smoking
this
right now.
actually yesterday in ThEoD. I actually spoke with the Loon here about this a while ago, and I actually spoke with his secretary at work about this.
Oh.
So, but
I won't even tell you what I confirmed her thoughts were.
it is Christmas.
I actually put the thoughts in her mind.
Yeah. By the way, Sohan is in the live chat on YouTube. So hello, Sohan. It's Christmas Eve. Merry Christmas Eve.
Howdy. How
Yeah.
you doing,
Yeah.
Merry Christmas, Sohan.
I would do the same thing, but well, I guess it's not against the homies giving a Christmas smooch, So
Give him a Christmas smooch.
mwah. So,
Yeah, we love and props to Mr. Sohan out there, but we know you love her. We know
yeah.
that you know that we love you.
Yeah. But anyway, so my rant goes, it starts off with, there are more airplanes in the sea than submarines in the sky. I wonder how many flying fish there are there. How often do they fly? Is there a schedule or a driving force? Are there at any given time a set amount of flying fish actively above water? What's the ratio to flying fish versus aircraft? Is there a chance there are more fish in the sky than planes? When will we, if we haven't already, develop a craft that can transfer from water to air and vice versa, like that one unit from Red Alert 3? Or like how UAPs, UFOs, like we've seen the videos, of them going from the air to the sea and vice versa and all that stuff. How crazy would it be if submarines can fly? Imagine a submarine bomber craft like those World War II planes. Just watch a dogfight transform into a sea battle, from missiles to torpedoes. Now I'm wondering about the evolution of munitions, something that can switch environmental abilities on the fly when fired, like a missile that can turn into a torpedo, then fly from the ocean following the target or something. Science fiction took the easy route with space battles where there is zero atmosphere. How do you utilize kinetic weapons or missiles in the arena with changing pressures and forces? Even lasers will act differently. So, what say you guys?
I say I went into my secretary and said, has my son confirmed to you that he is actually batshit crazy? And she had to say, yes.
I mean, I'm not denying that, but the logic is sound. You know?
Xander, this is my answer. I'm gonna
Well, I mean, no, seriously, take the insanity aside, and think about it. Like, eventually,
Hard to.
Well, try. Like, but no, seriously, like it's inevitable in warfare that we will have to have a craft that can travel from air to the sea, because what better way to take out an enemy fleet than have an entire flotilla of aircraft just pop out of the ocean and bomb them without an aircraft carrier on the surface or anything,
Don't worry, Disney and Marvel already took care of that in the Avengers movies.
Well,
No. That's a helicarrier, Alice. That's going from the surface to the air. I'm talking about from the air to underwater.
Oh, you mean submersible? Oh wait, no. Sky Captain, The World of Tomorrow did that.
I have not seen that.
With dude, the one with Jude Law and Gwyneth Paltrow.
I don't know.
Like it has like the way
I don't know actors, so.
Okay, so it's basically like the cinematography is totally like a 1930s Art Deco style movie, but with color and kind of like cloudy tintness to the framework. Completely, a lot of it is definitely green screened or blue screened. But basically, they have like 1940s style like planes that can actually dive into the water and become submersible fighter planes.
Huh.
If you want, like after the show tonight, I know that you want to watch another show, but we haven't done a movie night in a hot minute.
Yeah.
We should watch Sky Captain: The World of Tomorrow tonight, and then go from there.
But I would like to watch a Christmas movie, but like.
Well, we've already watched that. We watched it earlier this week.
No,
with,
not that movie. Just any Christmas movie, not a. No, that's a Christmas story. That's a Christmas story.
Okay, well then I got the perfect one for us. Die Hard. The first one.
And you know what? Bruce Willis, or if anybody's watching this who knows Bruce Willis, I don't give a damn what Bruce Willis said. Die Hard is a Christmas movie. All right?
Ho, ho, ho.
Yeah.
Coming down the elevator with him sitting there with it on a sweatshirt.
Yeah.
He wrote out ho, ho, ho.
Yeah. I have a gun now.
Yeah. I have a gun.
I have a gun. Yeah, ho, ho, ho. I have a gun now.
Yeah, that's right. But actually,
or whatever it is.
Like I was watching.
That's a great movie.
Yeah, it is.
Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker.
Yeah, there are some great lines in there.
Well, no, I was watching a stream yesterday. Actually, I think it was Shenny's stream. And UFOlogy stream as well. I think I'm not sure. But, like they were talking about it as well. No, it was winning. It was winning reality last night, and
or
what?
We could watch Krampus.
I have not seen Krampus.
Ooh. Sohan, are you there in chat? What says you of Krampus tonight?
We will await his response, but
Dude,
but basically, what I'm getting at here with like the whole Die Hard thing and all that stuff is that it's not that Die Hard is a Christmas movie because it took place during Christmas. It's a Christmas movie because it visibly shows the descent into madness and chaos that the holidays bring.
Well,
like
that's not the
just like what happened a half an hour before the show.
As I said, it was yet last night on Winning Reality stream that somebody made that comment, and that's really pretty accurate. Like
it's not Christmas without some insane people out there.
It's not Christmas
like me.
until what's his face falls off of Tokiyama Tower or whatever it's called. Soen just said, on the 11th day of Christmas, Trudeau gave to me crippling debt and government assisted suicide. But anyway,
and government assistance to us.
Oh God, yeah, that's the famous. But anyway, let's move on to another topic here.
Christmas Trudeau gave to me. But black faces.
Let's not get too political. I don't want to strike.
I don't want to strike on YouTube.
Yeah. But anyway, Alice,
shoot, we're not in the Rumble. We're not even in the Rumble yet. Oh my gosh.
I know. We're like 16 minutes out. Yeah, but we have more topics here to discuss. Like on our peanut here in the YouTube section. So this is what you were talking about the other day, Alice. Lake's not freezing yet for ice fishing. Late winter this year on the 21st. And by the way, the 21st is always winter on the 21st. That's the solstice.
Yeah, you're right. I meant to tell you.
Winter solstice.
Because I remember our conversation the other day. You said, last year was the 19th.
Well, because it doesn't vary.
No, it's always the 21st.
No, it's always the 21st.
It's always the 21st.
Yeah.
The 21st of June and the 21st of December are your summer solstice and winter solstice.
Yeah.
So that's where you have the equinox, I should say.
But yeah, Alice, you were talking about somebody about like the lakes are not freezing yet for ice fishing or something yesterday or the other day.
Yeah.
So.
In Minnesota, actually, like not to be mistaken, I know how Xander likes to make fool everybody that I'm from Wisconsin, but I'm not. I can't believe I'm still wearing the hat, but it's. But anyways,
you look like Dark Helmet Man from Spaceballs, but when he's in the desert, we ain't found shit.
You know what? Do you want me to like color in some black holes right here?
No.
For you?
No, please.
When I send it out. Oh, here. I'll put it sideways.
You want to know something?
Yeah.
She got that for me for my birthday last year.
Ah.
And she still has yet to give it to me.
And I also have his hamburger hat.
Give me my
hat. I also have his hamburger hat. Yeah, I also have his hamburger hat.
Yeah, my hat. I gave you a tree. I gave you your keychains. You know, when am I going to get something back, Alice?
I still can't. I've been looking through text. I still can't find your shipping address.
Oh, we still got to go through all that too.
Not we.
Yep.
No, all of us. No, Alice, me, and you. We got to go through all that. I have a whole thing. But anyway, no, Alice, go on about like the ice fishing stuff.
Okay, so everyone's freaking out because like a lot of lakes are not freezing up for ice fishing right now. And they're wanting to. This is where I kind of want to talk about this in the Rumble.
Okay.
But what I want to get to is that what they're claiming reason why is malarkey, and we'll talk about that in the Rumble. Okay. That's a topic I would like to speak over there because of certain things YouTube might not like of me saying.
Okay.
Because I'm not I'm not a scientist. I'm not anything like that. And it's just my opinion and what I have learned over the years and from smart people who are scientists and stuff like that. What I have learned and gained over the years. And common sense.
All right. Well, I made a note to remind me to when we switch to the Rumble section, and
we'll
talk about that.
Intervene in we'll be in that. But what's going on, essentially, is that a lot of lakes where normally by now they'd be frozen up enough for people to go ice fishing. And in Minnesota, North Dakota, I've heard reports of parts of Canada, like they're not fully freezing, but there is a theory, which is also not really a theory. It's kind of just known fact, but people like to ignore known facts.
Well, we're stepping around the bush here, so let's just save the whole thing, for the Rumble section.
Yeah, we'll save for that. But what's our next topic? Because that one's kind of
here is actually really interesting. It's once again another thing from the history show here, and we have on the 20th. So December 20th, 1820. Missouri imposed a $1 bachelor tax on unmarried men aged between 21 and 50. And you know what? That raised an eyebrow, because it's like, that'd be an interesting
That's an unfair tax.
If you're a bachelor, if you don't want to, have a relationship, fine, but now you have a tax. I don't know where I stand on that. I think I support it. What say you,
well, technically, that's an unfair tax, thus making it unconstitutional regardless of how you feel about it.
Yeah.
No.
Feelings aren't laws. I'm sorry.
I see that.
Where can you go with that?
You know what I've been watching a lot lately? Is a bunch of First Amendment through Fifth Amendment auditors on YouTube, and they've been making a lot of points about this. It's like, your feelings and being offended are not laws. You can feel uncomfortable about something, but that doesn't mean that someone's committing a crime.
Yeah.
And so by taxing a certain group of people, well, are they going to tax women for not being married?
Whoops.
Well, if you're going to here's my point. So if you're going to tax bachelors, men who are not in relationships or married between the age of, what was it? And 50?
It was 21 and 50. I deleted it. But
yeah, 21 and 50. Okay, so why aren't you taxing unmarried women between 21 and 50 then?
Because they're not property owners. Because back in the day, voting rights and taxation and all that stuff.
Yeah, well, I get that.
You actually owning a chunk of the country to have, the right or,
to vote.
Yeah.
Well, the Constitution does say all men are created equal.
Well, back then, man is our species, mankind, human. But then somewhere later on, man
and so
became
women,
the word for males.
well,
But man
by
is both
default,
males and females.
well, and I was saying my point thus said, by default, men and women are created equal. When it comes to rights and liberties. Now, taxing certain sex of people is discriminatory, is my point.
It is.
So, I mean, regardless, because we're all created equal. So, I mean, there were women back then that were landowners too. And actually back then, a lot of women back in the day didn't want the right. A lot of women didn't want the right. They were not, well, maybe not landowners, but they were business owners. There were women business owners.
Before the 19th Amendment. What's that? Who was the first woman to vote? Can women's right be taken? Yes, it can. It shouldn't. But let's see.
Yeah, women did get a right to vote until the 1920s.
Let's see here. Let me.
Like black men had the right to vote before white women.
Yes.
Or any woman.
Okay, so
after
right
that.
here it said women and people of color, as long as they met the land-owning requirements of the time, could and did vote in New Jersey from 1776 to 1807. So there you go. At least in New Jersey.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty sure Shelley's happy about that news. So.
Yeah. So I mean, so there is like truth to that. There are certain circumstances where women were able to be landowners, and that wasn't just exclusive to just New Jersey either. But it was like an under.
Yeah, well, like back in that time, the states really did have the power before the federal, really.
Yeah, but like a lot of
this is specifically about New Jersey, Yeah. But maybe there's more. And
so this is.
Hold on a second.
So, well, my point being is that like women have had the right to, some say, but like a lot of women actually did not want the right to vote. Actually, either there was actually a lot of women who were like, "I'm not for it" because of certain things that come with it. That just were not like fair because, well, and at the time I actually agree. Well, but then I don't even know if I should continue going on with this because that could be a sensitive subject here on YouTube as well.
Well, like right.
So I should remember too. People grew up with that attitude, and they said that's just the way it is. I don't want to.
People, things are changed. Things have changed, but people don't realize, like, back in the day, people knew the differences between one another, but we still sought for equality to a certain extent. Like, we sought for equality, but knew each other's limits on each side of the realm. Okay. That's what I was meaning to say.
Let me read this really quick. Before the 19th Amendment to the Constitution was ratified in 1920, women had voting rights in various capacities as early as 1838. It says here, the University of Washington Mapping American Social Movements Project created the timeline and map of women's suffrage legislation state by state between 1838 and 1819. So I'm opening up that website right now, and it's taking its sweet time. But then here's this, what I talked about, in New Jersey. There's another thing here. The Legislative Assembly in the Utah Territory passed a law to give women the vote in February 12, 1870, a few months after Wyoming Territory had done the same. So these are territories before they were even states. So,
yeah.
And then we have here, Idaho extended suffrage to women in 1896 via a state constitutional amendment. Idaho was the fourth state to extend this right to women. So, there you go.
Okay.
Multiple states did this.
Voting in a state election and voting in a national election.
Yeah, you just couldn't do a national one.
Well, and also don't forget.
And that's the laws that preempt everything in all states.
Now that makes me wonder, because you're saying state and federal. Well, what about territories? How was that handled?
Well, they weren't a state yet. They couldn't vote in a national election.
They're like,
probably not national.
And there's only one national election.
Well, think of it this way. Well, Xander, think of it how Puerto Rico is a territory of the United States.
It's a principality. It doesn't really vote, but they also get a lot of tax breaks. So there's actually a whole thing about businesses moving to Puerto Rico because of that. It's a trade-off.
Yeah, you get perks, but you don't get everything. That's basically what the territories of the states were before they became states. I think it was like 1838. Berto, what year did Minnesota become a state, Xander?
Well, hold on a second. One thing at a time. So, could territories vote in federal elections?
National, federal.
Well, here's a Puerto Rico.
Well, not that, but before they become states.
Could territories?
Yeah, I don't even know how you define it.
I don't even know how to look it up. So if anybody can figure that out and start telling us a little bit more about that, tell us in the comment section. But anyway, what was it that you said, Loon? Because I was thinking of that. You said something, and then Alice said something. So now I have three things, going on. So.
I've lost it.
Okay. Well, so then what did you say, Alice?
I was just asking what year Minnesota became a state, just out of curiosity, because I was going to try and correlate with a bunch of the women's voting and stuff.
1858, and that was after California. Remember that?
Yeah. So that was 58. For some reason, I knew it was an 8, but I thought for some reason I was thinking 38. Is that?
38?
Yeah, I was mixing up. Yeah, for some reason I thought Minnesota was 38, not 58.
Well,
so that was just my bad. My business.
You were saying, you said something about Puerto Rico earlier,
Yeah, well, that they can vote.
Can they?
Yeah, Puerto Rico votes. Yeah.
Let's see here.
For national elections, I'm not sure.
Residents of Puerto Rico and other U.S. territories do not have voting representation in the United States Congress and are not entitled to electoral votes for president. So they do vote in some things, but not in others.
Well, I think they send representatives, though. They vote and send representatives to the Senate and the House of Representatives.
Well, there's no
voting representation in the Congress.
Yeah, there's no representative for Puerto Rico. They're not a state.
No, that's why I said Puerto Rico does not have voting rights because they're not a state. They're not their own. Right. They're a principality. They're
territory.
A protectorate underneath us. But
you're absolutely right. That's why they've been trying to make Puerto Rico a state to get a couple more senators in the.
Exactly
Senate.
like how exactly
right.
all
totally
exactly the political garbage that they did leading up to the Civil War. Yeah. Make this a state to get a representative. Make this a state to get a representative.
Yeah. So the answer would be Utah and Idaho could not vote when they were territories.
Oh.
Well,
they had like
it could have been different back
then. But they had territorial voting. They had territorial voting rights, Papa Dudes.
What do you say, Alice?
So they had territorial voting rights for that territory of those such places, just not national. Yeah. So they weren't able to vote for state senator because they didn't have a state senator or a congressman. They couldn't vote for the president because they weren't part of the United States quite yet, but they were protectorates essentially of the United States, like Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
Maybe one day Puerto Rico will become a state. Maybe it'll become the 51st state. Dude, that's gonna that'll make it there'll only be 2 key states in the United States then. There's only one state starting with the letter P in the United States. It's Pennsylvania.
Let's see here. I'm trying to. What is the tax loophole in Puerto Rico? Specifically, a U.S. citizen who becomes a bona fide Puerto Rico resident and moves his or her business to Puerto Rico, thus generating Puerto Rico-sourced income, may benefit from a 4% corporate tax / fine or fixed income tax rate, a 100% exemption on property taxes, and a 100% exemption on dividends from export services. So that's a lot of people are moving there, to start their businesses, moving their businesses, because you get a lot of breaks. But now you don't have a representation, so it's a trade-off.
Yeah, there is a little bit of a trade-off.
So,
unless you have dual citizenship, then you do have that right.
Yeah.
So those who have dual citizenship, that's actually beneficial.
Yeah, get out of
very beneficial.
It's a mess down there.
Yeah.
It's food for thought there.
Before we transfer to the Rumble section, there is one more thing I want to talk about really quick. Earlier this week, and Noah, our Twitter guy, he noticed this. For a short period of time, all the tweets on Twitter were gone.
For a short period of time, what?
All the tweets on Twitter were gone. The 21st.
When?
So, on the 21st. So on Thursday. So yeah.
just
no, like this happened like a couple days ago.
Okay.
No, because like
dude,
this was when I brought him back in. Remember, I brought him back in on Thursday.
Yeah.
And he was browsing Twitter. He's like, "What the hell?" And then I went on my Twitter, and Twitter's there. It's up. You know, it's not shut down like that one time Facebook got shut down. But Twitter is up, but there was no tweets from anybody anywhere. It was all gone. Now it's all back.
Like every.
I wonder if it got hacked.
Yeah, well, that's the thing, and we never figured that out. Like, Noah and I have never looked back into that.
Here's my hey Xander. Here's my question. Did other people on Twitter go, "Hey, did anyone else see this?" Or was it just you and Noah that had it?
That's a Noah question. You know, I don't pay attention to Twitter, so.
Yeah, well, that's the only thing is like you know, it's between two people. I just want to make sure. Maybe if it was tens of thousands of people, then that's something to really like keep our eye open for.
Well, I mean, like as I said, like, you know, like I don't even know how to like start looking for that. So I would ask Noah about that.
Well, mark the date that happened and the time, and we'll see if we can make an inquiry or something.
This date history next year.
All right, so that was the 21st. So Thursday, December 21st, 2020.
Also, here, just for funsies, Xander. Also, look and see if there was a solar flare that came out that day. Yeah, just for funsies.
Oh, yeah. You know what? We have been having some unusual solar, but that's a little weird. You know? No. See, here's the timeout. Now, I don't know how technology works, but if it interrupted Twitter, you'd think the whole thing would go down, not just a little portion of it. But then again, you know, you can have a decentralized thing. You know, this server for this part, this server for that. You know, so I don't know.
Yeah.
But that is a good
that's my point.
Solar activity. Hold on a second.
Because I know it's been a little more active and stuff. I remember, like, when we were like in the tea show with Shenny and stuff like that. Like a few days back when I was last in it, they were talking about like Northern Lights, the Aurora Borealis, and a lot of times like the Aurora Borealis like is like created because of solar activity. So I mean,
no.
Food for thought.
Well, it's a combination of the solar radiation hitting our electromagnetic bubble and causing a light spectacle.
Or the magnetic field, you mean?
Yeah. Anyway, it is time for us to switch to the Rumble section. So anybody watching us on YouTube, please go to the underbar, the description. You know, our Rumble is right there, as well as our link tree, and the Rumble's in the link tree as well. So anyone who would care to watch the rest of the show, please meander over to Rumble. And it is up there, same title, same thumbnail, same everything. So let's all say goodbye to YouTube for today.
Bye.
Bye, YouTube. So
Happy Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, cut to you.
Festivus too.
Well, we've had
Festivus.